Think you've seen it all? Brace yourself for the world of the most gruesome plagues in history. From the devastating Black Death to the merciless Spanish flu, our ancestors battled nightmares you won't believe. 1. The Plague of Justinian, 541-542 AD. Considered the first recorded plague pandemic, it killed an estimated 25 to 50 million people, reducing the global population by 13.26%. The Black Death, 1347 to 1351. This plague wiped out about 200 million people in Europe, almost 60% of the population, due to the bacteria Yersinia pestis, the Spanish flu, 1918 to 1919. It's estimated that about 1/3 of the world's population contracted this flu, with death tolls estimated to be between 20-50 million. Wait, hit subscribe if you're not a robot. The Great Plague of London, 1665 to 1666. This deadly outbreak killed an estimated 100,000 people, which was almost a quarter of London's population at the time. The Antonine Plague, 165-180 AD. This outbreak, possibly of smallpox or measles, killed about 5 million people in the Roman Empire. The Third Plague Pandemic, 1855. Originating in China, this plague spread to all inhabited continents, killing over 12 million people in India and China alone. 7. The Coccolistli Epidemic, 1545 to 1548. This epidemic killed an estimated 15 million people in the Aztec Empire. The cause is still unknown, but it's believed to be a form of viral hemorrhagic fever. The Hong Kong flu, 1968 to 1969. This flu pandemic killed an estimated 1 million people worldwide. The Asian flu, 1957 to 1958. Originating in East Asia, this pandemic resulted in about 2 million deaths globally. The cholera pandemics, 1817 to 1824. The first of 7 cholera pandemics over the next 150 years, this outbreak killed millions of people across the globe. The American plagues, 16th century. Diseases brought by European colonists to the New World, such as smallpox, measles, and flu, killed an estimated 90% of the indigenous populations. The Russian flu, 1889 to 1890. This flu pandemic killed about 1 million people worldwide. The Plague of Athens, 426 BC. This plague, possibly typhoid fever, killed about 1/3 of the population of Athens, including the statesman Pericles. The Great Plague of Marseille, 1720. This outbreak of Yersinia pestis killed 100,000 people in the city and the surrounding provinces. The yellow fever epidemics, 1793 to 1822. These outbreaks killed tens of thousands in the U.S., particularly in port cities like Philadelphia and New Orleans. The polio epidemics, 1916. This outbreak of polio in the U.S. killed about 6,000 people and left thousands more paralyzed. The sweating sickness, 1500s. This mysterious and highly contagious disease caused fever, intense sweating, and death within hours of symptoms appearing. The Plague of Cyprian, 250-271 AD. Named after the bishop who recorded it, this plague killed thousands of people daily at its height. The Naples Plague, 1656. This outbreak of bubonic plague killed about half the population of Naples. The Great Plague of Seville, 1647. This outbreak of bubonic plague killed around half the population of Seville, Spain. The Dancing Plague, 1518. A case of mass psychogenic illness. Around 400 people began to dance for days without rest, leading to heart attacks and deaths. The Encephalitis lethargica pandemic, 1915 to 1926. Also known as sleeping sickness, it affected nearly 5 million people worldwide, causing a catatonic state in its victims. The London Plague, 1563. This plague killed an estimated 20,000 people, about a quarter of London's population at the time. The typhus epidemics, World War I, spread by lice in the crowded conditions of the trenches. Typhus killed millions of soldiers and civilians during the war. The scarlet fever epidemics, 19th century. This bacterial illness caused high fever, rash, and even death, killing thousands in the United States and Europe. 26. The Third Cholera Pandemic, 1846 to 1860. Considered the deadliest of the 7 cholera pandemics, it resulted in over 1 million deaths. The smallpox epidemic, 1520. Smallpox brought by Spanish conquistadors killed an estimated 8 million Aztecs, more than the warfare itself. 28. The HIV/AIDS pandemic, 1981, present. This ongoing pandemic has killed over 32 million people globally, making it one of the most destructive,